To create this trailer hitch kind of thing right here, I think we can begin with a torus once again. We did that earlier when we created the rim up here. So let's do that again. However, I think what I'm going to need to do is organize some things up here in the outliner. I can take all of these things here and move these up into vehicle main. But I think when I hide this here, yeah, we've still got a lot going on that should probably go into that vehicle main. And the problem is it's here in the wheels. So let me control spacebar this and open this up so it's a little bit bigger. And I think if I just hit the B key and border select all of these here down to here, I think I can just move all of this up into the vehicle main. And that leaves the tires and wheels. Well, let's try control spacebar. And yeah, almost. There's this and this. So let's just right click here and go to move to collection, and then we'll choose vehicle main. There we go. All right, so we have our tires and wheels in one collection and our vehicle main in another. That's good because I think I'm going to need to hide everything to work on this. So let's hide the vehicle main and the reference images and the wheels, and then let's begin working on this thing. So let's just create a torus, Shift A, Mesh Torus. Now look what I've done. I forgot to select the scene collection so it would be created out here outside of those hidden groups. So let's see where it dropped in. There it is. All right, I'm going to say move to collection, scene collection, and then go back and hide the wheels, and there it is. All right. And the problem is now I've lost my settings panel, so that didn't do me a whole lot of good. So let's go back up to scene collection, select that, press Shift A, Mesh Torus, and here we go. All right, I'm going to take the major segments down to 24 and maybe the minor down to 8. Let's try that. And also, I think I need to make it a little bit thicker. It looks like if I grab the minor radius, let's change this a bit. Something like this. Let's try that. Okay, and then let's turn it in the y-axis, RY90. I think I like this little part that kind of goes up straight here at the back, but this still curves. And then we need to expand this out. This to me looks like it's the shrink fatten tool, like we could select these and kind of fatten that out. We'll have to try that. And then also back here, we've got this part extruded off of the back. So a couple things. Let's try this. I'm going to go ahead and do it from this side, the right orthographic view. We may have to spin it around once we're done, but that's okay. I'll tab into edit mode. And let's go to wireframe. And in face mode, I think what I'd like to do is get rid of these faces right here. And let's remove those. And then I'll alt-click this edge. And let's just extrude this straight up, EZ, and I'll pull this straight up like that. Okay, so we've got this part right here, I think. The next thing to do is maybe grab this and extrude this back, EY, back to here. Let's do that. I'll put it right about there. And then we need to connect them up. So I think what needs to happen here is we need to insert a few edge loops, say one edge loop for this line right here, right? And then another edge loop up top here, and another edge loop down here. And this is just so we can connect this part with the back vertical piece here. And then we're going to need some faces to be able to extrude it back as well. So maybe I'll add an edge here, and that'll give us this edge, and this edge to extrude back. And we got these three to connect up to here. So let's try this. I will go back to solid mode. And so for this, let's see if I remove this face here, these 4 faces. Let's try this. I'll remove this. And then if I alt-click this edge right here, let me do that. it says down here we have 8 edges selected. And if I Alt-click here, we also have 8 edges. So I should be able to bridge edge loops between these two. So let's select those 2 edge loops, press Control E, and choose Bridge Edge Loops. And there we go. So now we've got those. I think maybe we should probably take this point and scale them out in the X like this. Okay. Now let's work on the back. So back here, it looks like we could select these faces here and extrude these back. I could even say grab this and scale these out like this a bit, and maybe grab this and scale these out. So we're kind of mirroring the shape of the torus there. So what I'll do is grab these faces and let's extrude them back, E and Y. Here we go. And then I'll flatten them up, SY, and push in like that to kind of flatten that up. And then let's delete these, X, delete faces, select this edge, and if we pull it back, I don't know about how far do we need it back, like this maybe? And then we need this panel on the back. So I think what we can do here is just hit E and then S and scale out. And then maybe we could just hit S and X and scale out this way like that. Let's try that. Maybe I'll grab these two and scale them in the Z. There we go. So we've got that panel on the back, and then we could take that and extrude it straight back like this. So there you go. There's that panel on the back there. Now, I do like this part right here. I think that gives it a nice bit of detail. So how should we do that? Let's come over here and let's go to wireframe. And I'll go to face mode and let's select, well, let's just select all of this right here. And then let's come back in and press the B key and hold the shift key down and border select this to deselect it. All right, so let's take a look at that. So we've got these faces selected. Oh, you know what I ought to do is close off that hole up top. But let's try this first. Let's see what happens. So I will hit E and then I'll hit enter. And now I'm going to press Alt S and let's see what happens here. Yeah, so we can kind of bulk this out a bit like that. That's pretty good. So maybe I'll grab these two edges here and pull that in a bit. Yeah, I think that's the kind of thing I was wanting. Just something to kind of bulk that up. Now, we could take these edges up here and Alt-click these and press Alt-M and merge them at the center, like that. So that closes that up. And then let's smooth it. Let's see what we get when we smooth it. And I'll turn on Auto Smooth and let's just drag that up just a little bit. Yeah, something like that. That's fine. All right, let's put it in place. I'm going to move the pivot point or the origin of this object to this point right here. So let's move the cursor with Shift S2 and then move the origin to the 3D cursor. There we go. Now let's bring back the vehicle and the reference images. And sure enough, we're going to need to spin this around. So RZ180. There we go. We'll scale it down. Let's go to that back view, Control 1. And let's see if we can put this in place. It looks like right up here, right in here. Something like that. Let's take a look. We probably have to do a little bit of work to get it back here on that. There we go. Yeah, I think that kind of adds just another bit of detail to it. We could also maybe grab a couple of bolts off the tires again and put them here. Why don't we try that? Let's come over here and tab into edit mode and let's grab, say, this and this. And let's duplicate it and move it off like that. And then we'll hit the P key to separate the selection. And now let's select that one bolt. And of course, we need to get rid of the mirror modifier there. Let's move the origin to the geometry here. And then let's bring it out. Spin it around the Z, RZ90. And let's see if it at all works here. I'll go to the back view with Control 1, and let's go to wireframe. Yeah, that's okay. I think let's just move it right in here like this. I'll maybe spin it a smidge, and then let's move it on back into here. All right. Let me move it down just a bit, and then let's duplicate and move it over here. I'll spin it again so it isn't quite exactly the same. There we go. Yeah. All right. So that just adds, as I said, an extra bit of detail back there. You know, while we're here, it looks like there's just kind of an extra extrusion in these mud flaps. We could do that pretty easily, I think. Let's just grab this. Let's apply the scale with Control A. Let's select that one face there, and then let's just hit I and inset into there, and then hit E and push in just a bit like this. And that just gives us another little extra bit of detail. Yeah. Let's go ahead and mirror that over to the other side. Let's move the cursor to the center with Shift S1. I'll move the origin to that 3D cursor and then mirror it over. And there we go. Yeah, so that just gives us a little bit more detail on those mud flaps. All right, I think we're looking pretty good. In the next video, what let's do is let's work on creating this strap that seems to be holding the tire onto the back frame here.